Route 45 leaders, week 4 is finally here. Easter is behind us, and what an incredible experience it was. I'm so excited to wrap up Brightside, wrap up Hope, and then jump straight into our next month's activities. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I say to myself that we still have this week's activities to get through, and these are a doozy. I hope you guys are excited and ready to dig into what we've got in store this week. One of your warm-up activities this week is to ask your kids if they could ask anybody one question, what would it be? And it gives you a list of some people that you might suggest asking, like the president or Elvis or Jesus. Any of those kind of things where we want to get the brain flowing and get their creative minds working. Your next activity has the opportunity to be very, very impactful and really cool. So make sure that you take your time with this one and pay close attention to how it works. You're gonna have your kids each take a piece of paper and write their name on top of it. This is now gonna be referred to as their Hope Stationery. You're gonna have each of your kids now pass that paper to the right or the left, I guess it doesn't really matter, just in one general direction. And you're gonna have each of your kids draw a card that's called Hope Mail, and they're going to complete the task that's assigned to them via the Hope Mail. Once everyone has had the opportunity to complete a Hope Mail activity on the piece of stationery, they're going to fold up that paper and put it inside of an envelope and then pass it back to the person who should be to their right or their left, depending on which way you went. And that person is going to write their name and their address on the front of the envelope and seal it up. And those are going to be mailed out later on this week. So they get a cool surprise halfway through this week. Make sure that those letters get put back at the coach's table so that they get sent, because the likelihood of them getting dug through out of a small group bag is a little bit less than likely. But if you make sure that they're at the coach's table, I will make sure that they get sent out Monday or Tuesday of this next week. An important activity that you had this week surrounds the story that we're talking about, which is about doubting Thomas. Your kids are going to have the opportunity to pair up into groups, and they're going to ask each other questions and give each other answers. Now, this is a really cool activity because it shows that there are a lot of questions that we maybe don't have the answers to, or maybe we don't quite know. And if you don't have the answer to a question, do not make one up. Tell your kids that you don't know the answer. Be honest with them, and help that be a conversation starter. Help that be something that you get to dig into as a group. Ask your kids, what do you guys think? How do you guys feel about this? Don't make up an answer. Cannot stress that enough. Don't make up an answer. Instead, use it as a tool to stimulate discussion within your group. In this activity, you're going to have your kids write a question on their partner's hand and write an answer on their partner's hand. And they're going to use that as a combined activity of discussing what questions and answers each other might have. Now, this is an opportunity that you have to create a very safe space for your kids and remind them that there's no question too big or too small for God. There might be questions that are too big and too small for you, but we aren't God for a reason. So remember to encourage your kids that it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to wonder. It's okay to want to know more. This is their opportunity. This is their safe space to ask those kinds of questions, even if you don't have the answers. Make sure that you use the wipes in your bag to wipe everyone's hands clean afterwards, because we do not want any parents picking up their kids with questions and weird answers on the inside of their hands. Finally, as part of your last act of prayer with your kids today, you are going to ask them to take one of the letters that you used in your activity that are getting ready to be sent out this next week, and they are going to each pray over one of them. So make sure that everybody has somebody different's card so that as they're praying over somebody else's Hope Mail. I love how Orange goes out of their way to show these preteens that there are lots of different ways that we can pray. There are lots of different tools that we can use to pray for others. And this is an opportunity that you have to emphasize that again. Guys, I'm so sad to see April come to an end. It has been so much fun with all the Easter and all the fun. Don't forget, there's a splash class this Sunday, the 28th. If you've got kids that are asking about what it means to follow Jesus or what it means to be baptized, make sure that you are giving their parents those splash class cards and directing them to the family room for our splash class that happens at 1 o'clock this Sunday. And this is our last splash class that we have before our family baptism celebration on May 5th. I cannot wait for this Sunday so we can wrap up Brightside and Hope together. Guys, I love you, I'm praying for you, and I cannot wait to see you on Sunday.